This will stun you. On average, romance scams cost Australians $2 million every month. $2 million a month. And those numbers are on the rise. But how do people keep getting conned by love rats?
Nat has the story of an award-winning Australian journalist who, despite her better instincts, was completely taken in by a man who was not what he seemed. Nat, we all like to think that we'd spot a good fake a mile away, but it is quite easy to get caught, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yes, guys, it's a lesson Stephanie Wood learnt the hard way. She is intelligent and usually cynical, but she was completely hoodwinked by an attractive and very charming man who seemed to be everything she was looking for. Her 14-month whirlwind romance turned into an emotional nightmare that took her to the edge before she got the ultimate revenge on her very own Australian version of Dirty John. Like so many single Australians, Stephanie Wood went online looking for love.
I was addicted to hope and I wanted to believe in love.
But the man she found was not who he seemed.
I wanted When Harry Met Sally, and I got Walter Mitty instead.
She knew the tales of Dirty John and serial con man Hamish McLaren.
I think he was cunning. I think he was conniving. He'd do anything to destroy lives to get what he wanted.
How do you spend 16 months of your life in a relationship with someone and you don't even know their real name?
This was a story that Stephanie, an award-winning journalist, had to discover for herself.
He told me that he was an affluent farmer, former architect, dabbled in property development where he'd made a lot of money.
Over 14 months, the relationship went from perfect.
He'd take me away for weekends, nothing incredibly lavish, but we'd go away to lovely little cottages and he'd take me out to dinner. He bought me gifts.
To anything but.
He would cancel on me constantly with really odd stories. Or vanish for a week or 2 weeks at a time.
They planned a life together in the country. He even took her to a grand property he was planning to buy.
It's not the sort of place that's open for inspection on a Saturday morning. It's a by appointment only style property, and he took me there and we met the owners and I got the guided tour and I'm going, wow, okay.
But she says it was all part of an elaborate hoax.
A real estate agent got in touch with me to say that his purchase of it had been just completely imaginary. He convinced other smart businessmen of his interest and capacity to buy this property. So it wasn't just a woman in love with pumping, surging neurotransmitters that was conned by this guy. He's very clever.
Stephanie says he was also a bankrupt, a convicted fraud, a world-class liar who was involved with at least one other woman.
I've called her Kirsty in the book and she's fabulous. And I suppose, like that Hollywood movie, The Other Woman, we've established a friendship, the most unlikely friendship.
After getting angry, Stephanie got even by writing first a magazine article.
I just got floods of emails from people telling me, oh my God, thank you for writing that. That happened to me too. Or that happened to my sister or my friend or my cousin. The number of stories was just extraordinary and they came out of the woodwork.
Now, after 2 years of research, it's turned into a book looking at how love rats operate and the traits they share.
I think the capacity to lie, there is a sense of entitlement and they're always the victim. It's always someone else's fault.
She says it's time to shine a light on the dirty Johns of the world.
If their techniques and their behaviour is understood more and talked about more, it might not be so easy for them to behave this way.
And time for women who have darts to follow their heads and not their hearts.
I would say don't hesitate to get a private detective, frankly.
So Stephanie wasn't conned out of any money by her Dirty John, but she says she was very lucky, and she adds the emotional turmoil was so traumatic. She actually suffered anxiety and then depression. It's awful.
Wow. It's a big story.
That's amazing.
A lot of it going on. It's worrying. Good on her for writing a book.
Yeah, too right.